What's up guys, this is Jonny Geiger. Today's video is going to be about a topic that is very private, and I usually like to keep private aspects of my life private. But this one is actually really important, and I decided to make this video for anyone who is going through this kind of stuff like anxiety, panic attacks, mental disorder. Since I experienced it, I think it's very important to talk about it. So before I'm gonna tell you some stories, just a quick update. I finally made a Patreon account. If you wanna support me, if you want me to improve the qualities of my videos, or if you wanna keep me doing what I do, you can support me on Patreon. The link of my Patreon account is in the description of this video. I'm very grateful, like really, thank you. We gotten like this far, and I still can't believe it that I'm like a skater from Europe who is actually making a living with YouTube and skateboarding. This video is not going to contain a lot of skateboarding, but I just can't come up with decent skate footage all the time. That's impossible, especially if you're not having a filmer. Sorry for that, I guess. Right now I'm trying to upload more frequently, and this is another reason for a video like this. What is Wikipedia saying about anxiety disorder? Anxiety disorders are a group of mental disorders characterized by significant feelings of anxiety and fear. Anxiety is a worry about future events, and fear is a reaction to current events. These feelings may cause physical symptoms such as fast heart rate and shakiness. Some statistics say every third person is going through some kind of panic attack or anxiety disorder. And the point of this video, it also happened to me. I want to share my stories, I want to give you guys some tips, I want to describe how I dealt with this kind of disease. First of all, I never expected my brain to have like such a huge control over my body and cause this specific symptoms. I had my first panic attack 14 months ago. It took place right after I turned pro for Revive skateboards. I was working my dream job, I had a healthy relationship, I had all these kind of things. At this part, I'd like to apologize for my accent and stuff like that because I'm not native. I'm probably not the best storyteller in English. I'm very sorry for that. There was my pro party. I was celebrating till 7 in the morning. I drank way too much. This is a common thing, and it's socially very accepted, like to drink heavily in, for example, Switzerland or a lot of other European countries. I went home. The next day I woke up, I had the worst hangover of my life. I went to the bathroom, threw up multiple times, went back to bed, got back to the bathroom, threw up again, on and off for like 5 hours. I put myself in huge physical discomfort. I started to get shaky, I felt weak, I couldn't eat throughout the whole day, and my hands, they started to feel numb, you know? At the very beginning, it was just my fingertips, and it slowly started to affect my entire hand. My mind was like, oh, well, this is bad right now. Like, focus on breathing, like try to stay calm, and I tried to focus on it, I tried to breathe, but it got worse and worse. My feet would start to feel numb, and I was like, well, that's really bad. So I called one of my friends and I was like, dude, can you please show up at my place? Can you please look after me? I know this sounds kind of hilarious, but I'm not doing fine right now because of a hangover. While he was driving to my place, it got even worse. I called him again and I'm like, dude, we gotta go to a hospital. This is really, really bad. So we went straight into the car. Right before the emergency entry, there were like 2 buses blocking the road. I was so stressed, I just wanted him to drop me off at the emergency. This put me like in huge stress. My heart and my chest started to feel numb as well. And I was like, well, I'm gonna die anytime soon. I was trembling, I was very, very, very anxious what was happening to my body. They put me in a wheelchair, sent me to a doctor. What did just happen? Like, I asked the doctor, like, I'm not in a life-threatening situation right now, right? She was like, yeah, this happens quite a few times a week. I was super surprised. I heard a few things about it, but I never expected a panic attack to be this bad, because I actually thought I was going to die. So I had a ton of questions. I was like, why did my hands, chest, feet go numb? She was very friendly, calm and understanding. Right now it's gonna be very hard to explain, but the doctor said If you breathe in more oxygen than you're actually gonna breathe out CO2, you're gonna have like too much oxygen in your blood, and this can cause numbness in any given part of your body. Well, and I thought like, well, that's good to know. After this happened, I got anxious about having another panic attack. We call this kind of things Teufelskreis in German. Devil's circle, doesn't sound familiar. I started to feel anxious about having a panic attack. I kind of turned into a hypochondriac. This was very weird for me because I've seen documentaries about hypochondriac persons, and it was like why are they feeling the way that they do? And all of a sudden I would feel this way. I was afraid of having like a disease. I was afraid of losing my job. I was afraid of losing my license. Like I basically was afraid of every single daily random life thing. And this was very tiring. So I was lying in my bed and I just couldn't move because I was like this exhausted. And I was like seriously concerned about going nuts. This is like the hard part, the things you didn't feel. This is like the very rational, mathematic part of your brain. And they were like constantly playing tennis. So in my brain there was like a constant critic going on and off 24/7. It also affected my skating. At that point I couldn't even like get up. After 4 or 5 hours at some point I figured I will have to like fight this, or otherwise it's gonna fight me and it's gonna beat me. So I stood up and I was shaking because I was afraid of just walking like 2 steps. I felt like I was going to collapse. I started to clean up my room. I was like constantly afraid of things to happen. It took me like 3 days to go out and actually like skate again. My mind was like, oh, you could like die in a car crash, or like I was afraid of basically everything. Afraid of every random thing. I was afraid of driving a car. I started to read books about mental disorder, panic attacks, anxiety disorder, and it started to get better. Very slowly though. It was a slow process. Like it was, every day was like baby steps. There were ups and downs. Like you're gonna take 2 baby steps, and that's not a lot. You're gonna take 2 baby steps forward and you're gonna fall 1 back all the time. For an example, I felt like super tired and I felt like being sick and I went for some push-ups. No, it's a very easy example. You don't need anything else, your body weight only. I just did some push-ups to show my brain that my body was actually doing fine. But still, it would hinder me from doing my job. Like the past 14 months, I've only been on 1 trip. It was the Take Over the World premiere in Ohio. The whole trip was amazing, and at the same time, it was really tiring because I was focused on not being anxious. I was focused on not showing like any signs of harm and very busy pretending everything's fine. So when I got back, I had to take off like 1 week and I had just like to relax and figure out things again. I've always been an energetic person. I've always wanted to do stuff, and all of a sudden I was not able to do it anymore. And that was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. I was not able to live a normal life anymore. So we have it one more time, a few baby steps back. I decided to put even more work into this because I don't want my anxiety to consume my entire life. I want to live the life that I want to live. To get there, I read even more books. I read books about meditation. I read books about yoga, about self-discipline, and any kind of mindset, like mental health in general. I tried to do meditation and I figured like that's way too hard because when you try to meditate, the major goal of meditation is not thinking, trying not to think. But my mind was still constantly playing tennis and I couldn't find a way to shut down my brain for like 3 seconds, especially when I wasn't doing anything at all. I didn't give up. I tried to do yoga, which is like this mixture between sports and mindset. You know, it's like 50-50, well balanced. This would kind of work. Like I'm still working on it, like to get somewhere. While I was doing these poses, like these asanas, two things: not to think of anything and trying to keep up with the pose that I was doing. I started being able to shut up my mind for like 10-20 seconds, which seems like an eternity. This was a long process. It took me 14 months to get to this point right here, not worrying about having a panic attack. Most of the time, I'm in control of what I think. Now I told you guys about a very private part of my life. And as said, I did this to raise awareness, to let you guys know if you're dealing with something like that, you are not alone. And also to encourage you to have the strength to go through this and give my the tips that helped me to do it. That was it. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel by clicking on this button right here. Watch a more skate related video on this square right here. I will keep doing my best to entertain you guys. Thank you guys so much for your support and have a great day. Namaste.